Good evening. Good evening. I think we're live now. Facebook done changed the live settings. It's a whole new setup since the last time I went live. So, oh, child, this is new. Gonna give people a few moments to join. Hey, Carter's Crafty Concepts. Thank you for joining. Gonna give people a little bit more time to join. Thank you for everyone who has taken the time out to join me on this live. I think it's gonna be a little bit helpful for you. You know, I always try to give you guys stuff and content that is going to be useful for you in your business. So, want to give people a few more minutes to join. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to know where you are joining from. For those who don't know, I am in Houston, Texas. That's where I am, repping H-Town. Hey, Gina, thank you for joining. Let us know where you're joining from. I'm going to get into it in just a second. I'm not going to keep you all very long whatsoever, but wanted to speak on some things related to everything that's going on in the world and the country right now with the social climate as a result of the death, or the murder, I should say, of George Floyd, and how it relates to business. You know, I always try to give you guys things that you can tie into in your business, give you new ways to look at things, ways to make some connections that you may not have thought of, because in some way, just about everything is in life and, you know, in politics and all that, in some way it's usually connected to business. So I always try to give you guys some helpful information, some helpful content, and helpful nuggets. Hey, Dr. Marsha and Gina, I didn't know you were in Savannah, girl. I haven't been to Savannah since I was a little girl, but thank you all so much for joining. So before I get started, for those who are unfamiliar with me, my name is Candace Washington, also known as the Client Curator, and I help businesses to get repeat revenue from their existing client base. And one of the reasons I'm so passionate about helping businesses get this recurring revenue and repeat revenue is so they can stop going from feast to famine with their revenue every month in their business. I do this because I'm not just someone who cares about how people are treated in personal life. I also care about how people are treated in their business interactions. And as I often say, we are all consumers, and so we all know how we like to be treated when we're doing business, and when we're buying things from other people and other companies and businesses, but that doesn't always translate into how we do business. And so I love helping people and helping them to treat their clients better, because when you treat your clients better, that's when they keep coming back and give you that money. And that's what we all want. That's what we all need. And the statistics from several studies that have been shown, or several studies that have been done, shows us that the vast majority of your revenue and your future profits is going to come from your existing clients, not from new clients. And it's a big misconception a lot of business owners have. And yes, getting new clients is important, but you really need to take care of those who are in your ecosystem. So I'm gonna jump right in. So we are talking about tonight why and how your personal values are costing you clients. And so I've got three things that I'm going to share with you, three points that I want you to take away. But the overarching reason is that people do not often see you and get to know you as a person when you are doing business with them, because you do not allow them to get to know you as a person. Yes, business is business. We want to, be about our business, take care of business, be professional. But you need to allow your clients to see you as a person and to get to know you as a person on a personal level. This week, there are a lot of prominent entrepreneurs that are crashing and falling, and I've been watching in some of the groups and a lot of the comments, so I was like, let me get on here and talk to the people about why this is happening. So the first of those three reasons is you've never been clear about what your values are and what you stand for. Now, because you haven't been clear about what your values are and what you stand for, when people find out what your values are and what you stand for, it comes as a surprise. And when that happens, if it comes as a surprise to them, and your values, once they find out what your values are and what you stand for, if it's not in alignment with what their values are and what they stand for, then it's a problem, and it can have repercussions in your business. Another reason, or that fits into that, is you never talk about what's important to you outside of business. Yes, we need to make money and all of that, but what is important to you outside of business? What are those things that are, dear to your heart outside of your business? And so one example I'm going to use is a very prominent business coach. She has a group here on Facebook that has a lot of engagement. People are posting, people in her program are posting and commenting, and there were two posts that I saw that were very different with regard to her response about COVID-19 and then her response to the George Floyd situation. So, with regard to COVID-19, she posted in her group that she was creating an official post for people to share their personal, physical, and emotional concerns with regard to COVID-19. Okay, that's great. We all been going through our own little situations trying to deal with social distancing and staying home and not being able to go out to eat and all that kind of stuff. So cool, that seemed very sensitive of her, right? Well, then when when this situation came about, what she did in another post relating to this was she touted her group guidelines. So she told people that, please remember the group guidelines. She even invited people in her group, that's the word she used. I invite you to lead those discussions in your own home and on your own pages and in your own groups. So basically shutting down any discussion of what was going on or what is going on in this country right now with regard to the protesting over the murder of George Floyd and the killing of innocent black men and women and just all the social unrest. So you have two very different responses. COVID-19, oh yes, I'm going to create a post to, encourage you all to share what you're going through. And then George Floyd, have those discussions on your own. And even on that post, she turned off commenting for the post because she said her team couldn't facilitate the discussion or the comments in real time. So you see two very inconsistent responses. Now, but you want to discuss COVID, Gina? Yes. But that's two very inconsistent responses. And so because apparently she had never been clear about where she stands on certain issues and what her values are, a lot of people in her group, black and white, went haywire. Because it's like, how can you be so accommodating for COVID-19, but then here we have this murder of this innocent man, and all of a sudden you want to talk about group rules and group guidelines, and all of a sudden we can't have a discussion about that here. We have to have those discussions on our own. So her business has seriously tanked because people are dropping like flies. Well, if she had been clear about what her values are and where she stands on certain issues, then maybe it wouldn't have been such a surprise to people. She might not have gotten some of the business that she had, but then she sure wouldn't have lost the business that she's lost now. So that's one thing. The number two is you're not transparent about the causes that you're seriously involved in. And by seriously involved in, I don't mean just giving your money, I mean giving your time. One of the biggest things that people like to do with regard to social injustice or human trafficking or the homeless or whatever the cause may be, they throw money at it. Well, it's easy to throw money at something because that doesn't really involve you taking your time. Time is something that we can't ever get back, and that's why it's so important to give your time to people that you love, to causes that you support, all of those things. And so when you are not making it known what you're seriously involved in, your clients really have no idea whether or not you support any causes, whether or not you have interest in serving and doing other things. Miranda, sorry, my dog I should have put her up. But anyway, so when your clients don't know what you're involved in outside of business, and they don't see you consistently giving back to any cause, it just, can raise an eyebrow. So this isn't to say that you should always make a photo op every time you do something and you give back and you give your time, because that's not really what I'm saying. But people need to know what you support and what you are involved in. For instance, my clients, they know when they come work with me, they gonna get some Jesus. We serve the Lord, our God in heaven over here, and they gonna get Jesus. People who know me also know that I'm very passionate about homeless causes, so serving the homeless, and I have a ministry for homeless women, and they know that I don't just get out and give money and donate money. And yes, money is needed, because money is a tool to be able to serve and have a larger impact, but you also need to give your time, so people know that I'm about it. I'm not just sitting around the house and not serving people. I actually get in the trenches and actually do the work and actually serve. So on that note, have another example to give you. So there was another very prominent entrepreneur this week who is a digital marketing expert, and this one is a little bit convoluted. So 3 years ago, from what I've been able to gather online, she posted a picture that was pretty much exploiting Black children in another country. And so a Black woman reached out to her to engage her in a conversation to help her kind of understand a little bit better where this was not appropriate. And this digital marketing expert sent back an email reply basically defending her actions. So fast forward to where we are now in the social climate in the country, and she has since, like this week, posted about the work that she's been doing to repair the situation. Miranda, she's been the work that she's been doing to repair the situation. So the Black woman who initially reached out to her 3 years ago and who she clapped back at, basically responded and said, here's a list of remedies if you're really interested in repairing the situation and really interested in doing some of this work. Here's a list of remedies, and she had a whole list of remedies of things that this woman can do. She's very, very wealthy, and there's a difference between rich and wealth, and she is very wealthy. And so this digital marketing expert sent her, this Black woman, $2,500, $2,500. Now, this woman, the marketing expert, she grossed $7.5 million last year. And she netted, of that gross, she netted $4.5 million last year. So $2,500, I think the stat is 0.05% of her income from 2019. So it just looks really bad. It looks, the optics are not good, let me just say that. And so because she wasn't transparent about the causes that she's interested in and seriously involved in, a lot of her people now are going haywire now that all of this stuff has been brought to light. So she is also losing clients. And then the third reason is that why your clients are leaving because of your values is because you're more concerned about influencing than you are serving. Everybody wants to be an influencer these days. Everybody wants that blue check on their Twitter. They want all the following. They want the clout. They want all of this. But you're not really focusing on serving your client base. Your only focus is on expanding your reach for personal gain and not for on-the-ground impact, not to make money to have an impact, and to make an impact to be able to donate to social justice causes, to be able to donate to homeless causes and human trafficking causes and all of these things. Your primary focus is on being an influencer. That's the end all and be all for you. And that's not a value that people can really get behind, because everyone wants to do well and do better and do, good in their business. But if you all about the money and not really about serving and making sure your people are succeeding and ending up better than where they were when they started with you, then that's going to be a problem once they find out. And so serving your clients includes much more than what you do for them. it includes also what you do on behalf of them. So if you have a huge, these women that I spoke about and gave examples about, they're white women. If you have a huge African American following and you don't support any of those causes, social justice causes that are fighting against racism and police brutality and all the many injustices that we as Black Americans face, then it really is going to look bad and look like you are really just all about being an influencer. And those two ladies that I spoke of, that's exactly what it looks like right now. So to recap, the 3 reasons how and why your values are losing you clients right now is because you've never been clear about what your values are and where you stand on certain issues. You're not transparent about the causes that you're seriously involved in, meaning the causes that you give your time to, that you donate your time to, and not just causes that you throw your money at. And then you're more concerned about being an influencer than serving and supporting your clients. So what can you do to kind of turn all that around and make sure these things don't come back to haunt you? Well, do the opposite of everything that I said. Be clear about what your values are and where you stand on issues. People should know what they're getting when they choose to work with you. Be transparent about the causes that you support and that you're involved in. Show some of the work that you're doing. Again, I'm not saying to try to capitalize on that and just promote and make it look like, oh, look at me, the good I'm doing. But people need to see some of the things that you're involved in. And then really focus on serving your clients, not just trying to be an influencer. Focus on serving them. What can you do for them? What can you do on behalf of them? I have so many I can't really say so many, but I have about a handful of good white friends right now that are using their voices to bring attention to other white people about all of the racism and police brutality that has been ingrained in this country for generations. And so many other white people are just now waking up. And I'm grateful that they're waking up, but it's like, where have you been for generations? Like, this is nothing new, unfortunately, but they're starting to wake up. And these handful of white friends that I have that are really screaming and shouting and really trying to educate their other white friends and white family members, they're making it clear what they're about and who they're for and trying to do their part in serving the Black community. So make sure that your people, that your clients know. Don't hide who you are. Be transparent about who you are. Again, like I said, you definitely always want to be about your business, but you also want to let people get to know you on some level. That doesn't mean to open your life to just be completely open and nothing is private, but people do need to get to know you on somewhat of a personal level. You need to let your clients know what you care about, what's important to you. It would be a good idea to ask your clients when you're onboarding them, what are some of the things that are important to them? Because I always say when I work with people, when I'm doing that clarity call and I'm trying to figure out, while you're trying to figure out if you want to work with me, I'm also figuring out if I want to work with you. So that's the time for both of you to ask those questions. Make sure you know who you're working with. Make sure you know what these people stand for. And then also make sure that people that are interested in working with you or that are already working with you, make sure they know what you stand for and what your values and beliefs are. So that's all I got for you tonight. I hope this information was helpful. As I always say, I try to make things relevant to keeping your clients as it pertains to whatever is going on in the world or in the news. Please let me know how this was helpful for you. Give me some feedback. Drop some comments. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and type replay in the comments for me. I should have said that at the beginning, but I'm saying it again right now. So type replay for me. Let me know what you think. Share your thoughts with me. I am going to be having a mini course coming up soon, and it's going to be 3 different classes in this mini course, and we're going to be talking about retention 101. So some of the basic things that you need to know when it comes to client retention. And I invite you to sign up for the waiting list so that as soon as it drops, I can email you and let you know, and you can get first dibs on getting in on the mini course. I'm going to drop the link in the comments, but the link is maximizemy20.com/. Retention 101. I'll drop that in the comments for you. I got so many links running around in my head right now while I'm creating everything on the back end. But I invite you to sign up for that wait list, and it's not obligating you to anything, but it's just to let you know that when the course drops so that you can get first dibs and go ahead and lock in your seat for that. So thank you again for tuning in. Yes, Dr. Marsha, thank you. You need to be less private. No, you can still be private, but be a little more personal, I guess. I'm not saying to open up your life so that everyone can peer into everything that you're doing, but allow people to get to know you on somewhat of a personal level. That doesn't mean that they need to be all up in your business. That doesn't mean that they need to know your every move and everything that you're doing, but let them see the personal side of you. So many times we let people see the business side of us that they don't get to know the personal side of us. And you be good at your business, do what you do, be professional. But I know so many people that it's like, I think I would like them if they would be a little bit personal, but I can't really tell because they're just always so business and so straightforward, and I can't really get a read. Let people get a good read on you. Let them see that personal side of you a little bit. So thank you for your comment, Dr. Marsha. Thank you everyone who tuned in. Have a great evening, and as I always say, be blessed and remember to treat people well. Bye now.